What is up, everybody? It is Wick here. I'm going to show you some things you can look for and sell online, places like eBay. These are all great, unique things that are kind of hard to find, but very possible to find. I know a lot of people don't know that they're valuable. That's kind of what makes them special. BOLOS, be on the lookout for them. I know people's been enjoying these types of videos I've been doing, and me personally, when it comes to reseller content, they're my favorite types of videos where I just see a bunch of things that I didn't know was worth money and I can just file them away in my brain and start looking for them. So if you do enjoy this content, make sure to hit the like button for me and let me know in the comments, and I'll keep making videos like this. So the first thing I am going to talk about in this video is these ashtrays. And there's a lot of great ashtrays you can look for out in the wild. Also, it is starting to storm outside, so if you hear that, that's what that is. There's supposed to be some tornadoes possibly here soon, so I might have to take shelter in the middle of the video. I don't know, but yeah, the McDonald's ashtrays, these amber ones. Can you imagine a time when you could smoke in McDonald's? I can, because I remember going to my local McDonald's as a kid and there was a smoking section. And if you can find some of these old McDonald's ashtrays, they're pretty good money. They're the amber ones here. See, the comps are very good, typically over $200 in good condition. I'm assuming people are buying these because they're collectible. It's not something they particularly want to use. Maybe they have some sort of like basement or man cave or something like that they want to keep them in and actually use them. I don't think so though, but very cool. And there's probably a ton of these made, right? There's a lot of McDonald's, and a lot of them over the years, they get broken, but there's still plenty out there, I'm sure. And I know a lot of people having garage sales, they may just have a few of these sitting in their closet. They put them out for $0.25 a piece. You get 5 or 6 of these at a time. That could be amazing, right? But you see so many McDonald's things out in the wild, and most of them aren't worth money. It's just cool to be aware of some of these things that are. Here's some McDonald's travel mugs and stuff here. $100 for this stuff. So the stuff from the 70s, 80s, probably pretty good to pick up, even if it's not an ashtray. And while we're on the topic of ashtrays, there's plenty of them out there. These Hollywood Regency kind of floor standing ashtrays, very elaborate. I actually picked up one of these in Goodwill fairly recently. It was marked $5, but it was actually half off. So I paid $2.50 for it. I think mine's going to be worth quite a bit just because, well, some of these aren't even close to being as elaborate as mine. You see, there's even some bowls, but anything like this, these floor standing ones, now these things are definitely going to be annoying to ship, but people will pay on the shipping. You just get a box long enough, you pack it good, ship it ground like UPS, FedEx to save money. Shipping this priority mail would be insane, I think, because of the price. It's not that bad to ship them. Mine has a bunch of prisms hanging on it, and all the prisms are there. It's just a little bit dirty. I really need to do something with that. It's just been sitting there. But again, any of these elaborate looking ashtrays, like honestly, any ashtray that looks special is probably worth picking up. And here's some more of these Art Deco airplanes, and obviously the ashtrays are going to be good, but you find them on the stand, they're not meant to be an ashtray. They're still worth picking up. I picked up a couple, well, it's probably been 3-4 years ago now. I sold one of them. There's some thunder. I think I sold it for like $80 or something like that. And it was just the airplane. It wasn't even on the stand. And then I have the other one just sitting downstairs on a mantle because I kind of like it. So anytime you see these chrome, Art Deco, vintage, 50s, 60s, I guess even 40s. I think they started making these around World War II era. Even the small ones like this, you know, if you see an ashtray just kind of cool looking, just pick it up, right? If you're getting it cheap enough. Here's a Holt Howard Santa ashtray of some sort. I don't find a lot of good ashtrays. I have not bought many. Usually I see them and it's just kind of like, oh, that looks kind of cool. It's just a basic, maybe like an amber one, not the McDonald's amber one colored, or blue one. There's no name on it. I'll pick it up for 50 cents at a garage sale, and maybe it's worth like 15 on eBay, which I guess isn't bad, but a lot of that stuff's very saturated. But when you see something special like this and you know it's old, it's almost always worth picking it up if you're getting it cheap enough. Like this Australian kangaroo and airplane desktop ashtray, $70. You know, you could easily find that in a thrift store or a garage sale, rummage sale, and make some good cash on it. But sometimes with comps, I get addicted. I just keep wanting to scroll to see what else I can see and learn about. I guess when you think about it, they're not really making a lot of ashtrays. Like, can you go to Walmart and just buy an ashtray right now? I don't know if they keep that kind of stuff in stock. I think you have to go to special smoke shops and places like that. So a lot of that stuff's more scarce. And people who do enjoy to smoke or smoke cigars, cigarettes, whatever. No, I could see people wanting these, and I'm sure there's a lot of collectors for this stuff. Something you can look out for are old duck decoys. Vintage antique ones are going to do the best. Some of these are big money. Every time I find them at a garage sale, I try to do a little bit of research on them just to make sure I'm not missing something. A lot of the ones I find are plastic, not worth as much. You can see some of these here by Mason Decoy Factory. Like this one, $34.50. And keep in mind, all these comps, you know, could be inflated. When you see one with 26 bids though, you can kind of guess that that's probably the value. That's from 1860s, 70s. Bluebill Decoy, John, Daddy, Holly. I'm not an expert in this stuff, but my goal is to be as knowledgeable as many things as possible so I don't miss them at sales. Something like this. So anytime I see a wooden duck decoy, here's a large owl, pest deterrent. That kind of stuff's cool. What is that, a sucker fish? Fish decoy? Why would you need a fish decoy? Am I missing something? Am I just not thinking it through? Still $1,800. Let me know in the comments if you found any of this stuff, like the McDonald's ashtray or any of these ducks. Yeah, that'd be great to know. I'm just curious how many people's finding this stuff. Obviously, there's some people out there doing well, just finding these unique things that a lot of people don't look for. I've said it before, people go to garage sales, they look for gold and silver, they look for video games, they look for old vinyls, but they pass up a lot of stuff like this, I think. Obviously, there's antique dealers that go to garage sales, they look for this kind of stuff, they probably know. I remember I went to a barn sale a few years ago, and there was just a trailer, and it had about 16, 17 duck decoys. And I was going through, most of them were plastic and in terrible condition because I didn't want to leave, you know, a $2,000 duck decoy in that trailer. Also the garage sale, I found a N64 in a free box. So that's kind of crazy, right? To find an N64 in a free box. So you don't know what they got there. If they're putting N64s in a free box, right? So yeah, you can keep scrolling. They just keep going down in price, but a lot of these are very collectible. 900, even if you're finding one for $100, it's going to be worth it. So here's a name I mentioned recently on a video, Danbury Mint. A lot of their stuff is great money. If I see something like collectible, like these baseball figures and stuff, or a car, and I'm like, oh, this Danbury Mint is worth looking into. A lot of the cars, you know, can sell for hundreds, thousands of dollars even. Like here's a baseball chess set, very cool, $910. Obviously, you know, it doesn't even have to be Danbury Mint to see something like this and know it's probably worth looking up and possibly buying, depending on how much you're paying for it. Here's some more chess sets. You got some figures here. $450, a best offer was taken. It's just some even smaller ones here. You see a lot of this stuff at Goodwills and places, and you look it up and it's just nothing. It's not worth anything really, like $5, something like that. They're not even selling. But Danbury Mint, some of this stuff, it looks cheap. It doesn't look anything special, but can be big money. And of course, they also make these little Christmas trees, which I found one of these for $5 at a garage sale. I think it was last year. I got one. Unfortunately, it was missing the light on top. So lost some values. It was a dog one. I don't remember what kind of dog Christmas tree it was. And some of these, wow, they're selling for a lot. Mine, I haven't even sold mine yet. I priced it like $80 plus shipping because it was missing the light. So mine is not as rare as some of these, obviously, but even just the basic, you know, porcelain Christmas trees. They don't have to be Danbury Mint either. With the Christmas trees, people are always looking for those. And you can just keep scrolling and you can see the Christmas trees. Like look at this one. This is just a Boston Terrier family Christmas tree, $2.99. Just madness what some of this stuff sells for. I was very excited when I saw the one at the garage sale for $5. I grabbed it and I went and set it up at the table while I was looking and buying other stuff. And there's a couple people that kept going by and picking it up and looking at it. And I had to tell them that I'm buying that. So it's just desirable stuff. A lot of people know about it, I guess. But on my channel, there's a lot of people who are new. They don't know everything. I know a lot of people watch my channels like, of course I'm looking up Danbury Mint. And a lot of people also know Ertl that watch my channel, but there's a lot of people who don't. So I like to include, you know, more common stuff along with the more rare stuff that even seasoned people might not know. And Ertl makes mostly tractors and like farm equipment type toys, and they've been around for a while. And of course, the older you get, the better in terms of the tractors and toys. Again, not every Ertl toy is going to be worth money. Most of them are plastic now. If you find an old one that's metal, like from the 50s, like this one, I found one, I think it was from the 80s. last year at a garage sale. I paid 25 bucks for it, if I remember right. And I sold it for about $100. It was new in box. Obviously, if it had been one from like the 50s or 60s, a certain model, I could have maybe got upwards to 1,000 like some of these. This is more just to alert people of the brand. Yeah, any Ertl metal tractors, I always try to look up at these sales. If they're old, the newer one, even the newer ones are still decent. And even some of the plastic toys, I got, it's vintage, I think it's from the 90s, an Ertl playset, plastic like barn and some animals and stuff. There's even missing pieces. I sold that for $100 plus shipping. So it's one of these things where you can just keep scrolling. I have it sorted by highest to lowest, and you're still going to find stuff that sells between 25, 50 bucks. It's going to be very much worth your time. There's a lot of this stuff made. It's pretty common knowledge, at least in farming areas like here in Ohio. But yeah, people maybe in certain parts of the country, not familiar with being around farms and stuff, maybe don't know about this brand. So I've had these on the channel before. It's been a few years since I've found any Bach. I believe it's German toy company makes these, a lot of construction equipment. They have little remote controls. You drive them around, like a forklift, you pick up stuff, you drive it back, all that kind of stuff. The lot I got, I think I paid like 20 bucks for, and it was just filled with all kinds of stuff. And I parted that stuff out and made quite a bit of money. You can see just some of the lots here of stuff, little cars you see. The vintage does sell pretty good, but I think the newer stuff will sell just as well. Like here's just a mixed bunch of sets for 200 and 139 for just mixed pieces. Cars, remotes, all that kind of stuff I broke down. It's pretty good money. And I've seen some at garage sales. People knew what they had, though unfortunately they priced the box $100, which I passed on. But you do see these fairly often in smaller lots or even larger lots at sales. They're great to part out. If you want to take the time just to sell these curved pieces. I remember I'd sell like 4 or 5 for like $30 or something like that. And I just broke it all down. If you want to put the time into it, there's a lot of money to be made with this stuff. A lot of people's not familiar with it because it is kind of a toy they don't keep in Walmart or these more big retail stores. Again, I'm pretty sure it's a German company. I could be wrong. Foreign company, at least for us in the United States, at least. Here we go. Here's some Yonex badminton rackets. And how many people just walk past badminton rackets, right? Because a lot of them are just cheap. They all look pretty much the same. However, there's a big difference when you see one called Yonex. It's a very good brand. And I remember a few years ago at Goodwill, I picked up 4 at 99 cents a piece. One of them I got close to $300 for. One I think was about 100. I think I still have a couple I need to list that are worth like between 50 and 80 even. They just ended up in a death pile somehow. Who knows how that happens when I got the other 2 listed, right? If I remember right, I was trying to find out some more information on them before I listed them because I didn't want to list them too low or something like that, and they just got away from me. They're in a death pile with a bunch of tennis rackets and other rackets that I need to list. And Yonex also makes tennis rackets. They make some good ones of those as well. But badminton, I feel like a lot of people they don't pay attention to this kind of stuff as much. You wouldn't think it'd be worth a lot. You see one that's Yonex, you just look up the model number. You see like a lot of these Powerly Chong. It must be a professional badminton player. Badminton's not that popular here in the States compared to a lot of countries, which is a shame because I actually like it a lot. I find it extremely fun to play, but $200 for this nano speed, just great stuff here. And yeah, you just look at some of the comps and they just keep going down. And many times when you find a Yonex racket, it's probably going to be worth at least $30 minimum, unless it's in bad condition or something. You do have to be careful. Make sure they're not cracked. The outer edges have any little cracks or anything. The string doesn't matter that much because they can restring them. And these things are light. The one I sold was some sort of special material that was very light. It was balanced. I could just hold it, with one finger and it would stay balanced. Very cool brand to look out for. So it's that time of year where you go to a garage sale and you see a bunch of DVDs and you want to know, are they worth something? There's so many great DVD sets. Anytime I see like complete series of DVDs, I found a lot of good stuff over the years. You can buy the whole collection for like $10 or something like that. They're in a box. Here's some that maybe you don't know is worth a lot. Ghost Hunters, the whole season, whole collection, selling for around $200, $250. You're still getting good money even if you don't have the full series. I probably find these cheap. I love finding DVDs like this, even things like this. I mean, if you're paying $3 a piece for them at Goodwill, you're still going to make money on. So Ghost Hunters DVD, yeah, definitely look out for that. Some more DVDs you can look out for: The Great British Baking Show. Seasons 1 through 5, you're looking at around $200 here. Some of the ones for $200 are new, but if you look here, pre-owned, $187.50, 8 bids. So great stuff. I would never think that the Great British Baking Show DVD set would be worth picking up just by looking at it, but there it is. Just great money to be found in some of these DVD collections. And of course, there's some DVD collections. By all 8 seasons, it's just not really worth it. Definitely matters on the series, but I love picking up book collections, DVD collections at garage sales. And here is another DVD set you can look out for. And really the name you can look out for, because they make all kinds of different types of media, and that is Nest. They make Bible stuff. I have found sets, I think almost $300 is what I sold a Nest set for. I found a couple sets. I remember one was like $10 at Salvation Army. Another one was at a garage sale. They have various amounts of DVDs. You can see here 34, or the complete 36 DVDs, 34 new. 34 of them are new. Actually, the set I found, a lot of them were new, which helped the value at $3.99. Pre-owned here, you can see still $3.24. People will buy these. They will buy them very quick. I have had no issue selling any of the Nest DVD lots that I've found. And Nest isn't the only brand when it comes to these animated Bible DVD sets. There's some other ones out there that hold a lot of value. I recently found a sealed set at Goodwill, right? I think I sold that for like $150, $200. Within the last 6 months or whatever. So now I'm just waiting until I find the next set. But there it is, everybody. There's some things that you can look for out in the wild. Hopefully make some money. Of course, let me know in the comments if you are familiar with any of this stuff, if you found any of this stuff. I always like to hear that information. Of course, hit the like button for me if you haven't. It helps the video out, and I'll just keep making content like this if you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, flipping_junk. And this has been Wick. Till next time.